Oh, you're gonna announce it?
Yeah, because like I'm sitting there actually.
Yeah. Oh, from SRG, right? Yes, I mean, just get ready.
Yeah, that was really good.
At 142 seems pretty solid. The beginning was awful, but well, after the beginning it started picking
As long as Guys, go ahead.
No, that's fine. So just for a minute, we're going to make a live donation here. SLG Marathon 3 raised about 4.5K to donate here for this fileman, actually. So 2250 on Cosmo S and 2250 on Eruptio. So I don't know if you have anything else to say.
I think Dico has something he wants to say.
Cosmo is in reality a lizard in the costume of a human being. Don't trust the reptiles.
We have a
Breakfast check.
we have a check here. I use the word check very loosely. It's written on a coupon for $5,000. At the moment, we had some issues. We have $4,500 in the PayPal right now, but the $500 is coming like a week from now. So, yeah, there you go. $5,000 from SRG. I hope you don't mind swampy money.
So with that very generous $5,000 donation from SRG, we will have just hit $590,000. So just a quick reminder for everybody tuning in, this is Awesome Games Done Quick 2014, hosted by Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live, your greatest sources of speedrunning on the internet. We are raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, who puts all their donations toward the early detection and prevention of cancer. Coming up now, we have a really interesting all dungeons Ocarina of Time race between the one and only Moltov and the legendary ZFG. We have a $50 donation from Magma Crade, who says, "Hello from France. You're doing a great marathon, guys. My grandfather died last year because of cancer, so I feel much concerned about this important cause and hope less people will suffer from it in the future. Keep up the good work. P.S. Save the animals. It's longer, but it's worth the time spent." On the other hand, we have an anonymous $50 donation that says, "Kill the animals. Save the frames." We have another $50 donation from Dunham, who says, "Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make the drive up to see you all. This donation is for my pop, who just last year survived throat cancer. If anyone ever says games are a waste of time, they obviously have not seen what this amazing community has been able to do. Hopefully I will be able to make it to SGDQ and enjoy in the antics." We hope to see you there, Dunham. We have a $30 donation from Liam6, who says, been watching AGDQ for a few years now, and it's always an entertaining time. Booked work off today just so I could see ZFG speedrun the N64 Zeldas. Here's to a good race. Also, let's kill the animals." We have a $50 donation from Michael McGinnis. "Great to be able to watch AGDQ live for the first time this year. Oh, and kill the frames and kill the animals." Another $50 donation from Metal Pat. "I've lost 2 friends and a grandfather because of cancer. Luckily, thanks to cancer research, my father is still with me today. I love that all of you, runners, and everyone else making sure this goes smoothly, are doing this in support of cancer research. Thank you very much. Also, kill the animals."
What would you like any of your donations to go towards? Well, there's Save Kill the Animals, there's Hand Cam for Mario 64.
Goldeneye multiplayer too.
And other than just anticipate this, Cosmo, what would you like? Okay.
Are you using all four? That doesn't matter.
Wow, this guy's a hacker.
Confirmed Game Shark. We have a $30 donation real quick from Winkers. Says, good luck Moltov, it's Winkers. There are no less than 2 relatives of mine battling cancer right now. One is doing well, and the other's immediate family is on the roller coaster ride with them. Here's to optimism that he'll win, and then possibly having a better chance due to all of our donations if it comes back. Oh, and Moltov, remember to take damage.
Alright, what do I put?
I think your Cosmo left.
Oh, that's no.
Probably a space after the
S. Looks like that.
No, ES.
Yes.
Alright, you want to do a countdown?
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh, we're ready.
You ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
You want to go first?
Sure. And this is Ocarina of Time All Dungeons. The goal of this category is to beat all of the dungeons that have either a medallion or a stone at the end of them via the cutscene. And then after that, you have to defeat Ganon. Me and ZFG here, we're going to be doing different routes, but they're pretty close, so we're just going to, it's pretty much an even race. So he's going to be doing the RBA route, and I'm not going to be doing the RBA route, and then they'll meet up at the end.
Yeah, the point of doing the different routes is this game, if you don't already know, is extremely, extremely glitch heavy. There is a glitch for basically everything. And this is kind of a demonstration of how there's so many different ways to do things, and you can accomplish the same goal in pretty much the same amount of time. So we're going to be, our routes are going to be diverging right at the beginning of the game, and we'll come around together near the end.
Before we go ahead and get started, could we get a roll call from the rest of the couch?
Jacob?
I'm Cosmo. I'm Runner Guy.
I'm Peanut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
We already got
did
to
it.
it.
All right.
We have a $15 donation from WBG, who says, here's to another close race for AGDQ 2014. Also, I'll donate $50 more if ZFG says, my favorite segment of OOT 100% is Dampe. Dampe, please.
My favorite segment of OOT 100% is Dampe.
You know the chat is
Dampe,
talking about
please.
Frank or Q right now.
So right off the bat, me and ZFG are going to split up. I'm going to go get the Kokiri sword and get money for a shield, and ZFG will be going to get a stick.
I don't need a sword. It's for babies.
Who's gonna leave the house first?
Oh.
We have a quick $40 donation from Nacho Mama who says, race hype donation. Hey Moltov, how about pressuring ZFG into a Hess 231 skip because marathon hype?
Oh my god.
Also
Why
good,
would I do a slower route?
Also good luck to both of you guys in this all dungeons race. P.S. Besson says hello.
So I'm just gonna get those rupees over the bridge and this rupee in the shop and buy this Deku stick. And after this, I'm going to head to Lost Woods and leave the forest.
ZFG, are you gonna risk breaking that stick on the forest escape, or are you gonna wait for Navi?
I don't know yet. I'll play it safe.
Ooh, he's going for it.
No, I'm not going for it.
Alright.
I didn't do it right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a jump slash off this ledge, and then I'm going to talk to Navi. And when you do a jump slash, there's a bit of a recoil, and you move backwards a bit, so then I talk to Navi as I'm falling, and I can fall through the water and exit the Zora's River early.
Alright, so right now you might be wondering why I'm going to the Deku Tree. The reason is I have to get rid of a cutscene at the start of the Deku Tree, or else the game will crash when I try and do a wrong warp later on. Yeah.
In this game, why would you ever do anything in order?
That was a small recoil boost into the cutscene.
He's skipping that owl.
Alright, so what this is called a water extended super slide, or WEST for short. What I did is I did a jump flash off the fence there, and when you do a jump flash off a wall, it gives you a lot of speed and a recoil. And then I landed in the water, and then from the water, I held very slightly to the right on my control stick, and this is called ESS position. It's basically the smallest input you can give the controller, the control stick, so that it actually registers. And normally what it does is Link just kind of turns, but you can also use it to lock your speed when you have a high speed going. So I can use that to go to Kakariko really fast. And at the same time, there's also an owl that blocks Kakariko. Or not blocks, but he talks to you on the way to Kakariko. And if you ever played this game, you know how the owls can be really annoying. And the owls cannot talk to you while you're doing that trick, so completely skips it.
So I just did a trick called Poppy Escape. It's where you do a precise crouch stab and launch yourself into the guard and then talk to him on the same frame. And you can get inside of him, and then with another roll, you can roll underneath him to the other side and skip having to beat the Deku Tree.
That's just another way of getting out of the forest early. There's multiple different ways. And so I'm collecting the chocos right now to get an empty bottle. And the empty bottle is basically going to be one of the most important items in the run. It's extremely powerful. And Moltov's also going to be doing that very soon.
Yeah.
We just got a $500 donation from Azif. The comment just says, ZFG.
Well said.
We also have a $250 donation from Jason LaRue. From someone who often wears masks, thank you for wearing that mask for over 2 hours. I know how uncomfortable it can be. And a quick follow-up donation of $20 from Kev. If you can get the person with the Majora's Mask, or anyone really, to shake their head like the Skull Kid does while wearing it, I will donate $30 to kill the animals. Good try, pal.
So now that I have the bottle, I don't really have to do anything else as child for my route, so I'm going to go to the Temple of Time and just become an adult and grab the Master Sword.
We have another $500 donation from Cabs. Cabs says, incredible Majora's Mask run. Wow, runner guy, I almost didn't recognize you without you dressed up as Zelda. I mean, Link. Keep up the awesome work, guys.
So normally, to get the Master Sword, you need to get the Ocarina of Time and the 3 Spiritual Stones, but you can flip out of bounds like this, hopefully. All right.
There we go.
So I can clip out of bounds, and then as soon as I clip out of bounds, I press the Z button, which aligns with the wall, like right as I fall out, and that kind of pushes me forward again so I can get into the door. If you have a sword, that trick's a lot easier, which Moltov's going to do when he gets there.
Yeah, what's interesting about the one ZFG just did is because he didn't have a sword, he had to retarget the wall at the right time, and it's way more precise. We actually kind of figured this out. I believe it's 0.23 degrees. It's that specific of an angle. So you have to be within 0.23 degrees of a certain facing direction for that to even work. And even if you are facing that direction, it's still like frame perfect, I think, for the retarget.
Yep, and but to add to that, even though it's that precise, we have a certain setup that will always get, almost always get the same angle every time. As you saw earlier, it does not always work, but and the setup was originally made for the version that does use the sword, and it just happened to be, it just worked perfectly for the version without a sword.
Alright, so I'm going to the bottom of the well to get bomb shoes. Explosives are extremely important in sequence breaking in this game. So I'll be getting bomb shoes and ZFG will be RBAing bombs. Now to get bomb shoes and bottom of the well, I'm going to have to do what's called an actor glitch. An actor glitch is where you load a room that you're not in, basically. So I'm going to roll towards this door and open the door, and then the camera's going to snap back from the tunnel and interrupt me going in the door and load the next room. Now what this does is it unloads this room, and now the water does not exist in this room. so I can progress to the end of the dungeon.
It was a pretty significant find because before you needed Zelda's Lullaby to lower the water, and being able to get the bomb shoes without Zelda's Lullaby is pretty significant.
So I just fell through water that didn't exist.
Yeah, the game kind of compensates because it's loading the actors in the next room, so even though this first room is loaded, it kind of has to remove some things so that it doesn't just overload itself.
If the game was really nice, it would open the hole to the bomb shoes and keep the bomb shoe chest there, but unfortunately you have to kill Dead Hand.
Yeah,
and
the
reload
game picks certain things to unload and certain things to not unload, and there's a pile of rubble above the chest that does not unload, but the chest itself does unload. It's the exact opposite of what you actually want.
Alright, so now coming up, I'm going to do a trick called a vine clip. I'm going to go down on the vine and drop off and re-grab the vine and get hit by the Skulltula on the exact same frame, and it's going to boost me to some water that's out of bounds. There we go. And I just fall in, and here's the bomb shoes.
Yeah, so to do some of these frame-perfect tricks where there's like enemy manipulation and complicated stuff, there's this trick, pause buffering. You've seen them both do it. It lets, basically pausing in Ocarina of Time is really crazy. You can, if you press pause early enough, it stays on the same frame, and you can buffer all inputs while you're unpausing the game. So with decent timing, you can get to exactly the right visual cue that you need, which is the right frame, and then just buffer the input. So a lot of stuff that would be like TAS only normally is like definitely accomplishable in this game.
We have a $111 donation from Mirrored. Hey everyone, I've been away from the speedrunning community for a while, and I've even had to miss most of AGDQ 14 because of work. But the weekend comes just in time for 3D Zeldas. Perfection. To make this run a bit more interesting, I'll donate $1 at the end for every bomb, arrow, and bomb shoe used by either runner. I'll be keeping track. Good luck, ZFG. I hope you win. Good luck, Moltov. I hope you win. Oh, and put my money on killing Wacka in Paper Mario. Another donation incentive we have coming up, guys.
So here I'm going to be taking damage because I need to die a bit later on. So I'm going to end with half a heart there. And now I'm going to go to Llama Llama and play with some horses.
ZFG's route right now is really complicated, to say the least. He's going to be doing some really hard to follow glitches. So.
Alright, what I just did was called a mega side hop. I dropped a bomb shoe and then rolled into it as it was exploding and then did a side hop and it launched me backwards at a high speed and I was able to boost myself into Zora's Domain. Skipping Zelda's Lullaby.
Explain the bomb bite.
Oh. Okay, so
Good explanation.
ZFG has bombs on C down because the game assumes that he would have had to get bombs as Child Link, but because he did the Dora time skip, he doesn't have them yet. So that icon there, it's basically like a non-functional bomb. Like if he can use it later though in this match that he's doing with the horse to his advantage to actually end up getting bombs. But at the moment he can't do anything with it.
So I just got on the horse and then exited the game, and now my B button is blank. This is because I never equipped a sword, which is the main reason I skipped the Kiri sword. The game uses the last sword you equipped to remember what item to put back on your B button after you get off a horse. So because I didn't equip anything, I just have a blank B button now. And this is important because I'm going to be turning this blank B button into a Deku stick very soon. and the Deku Stick is going to be turned into a bottle, and then the bottle is going to lead to very crazy glitches.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated.
Alright, so I'm about to do a precise jump slash to get inside Jabu Jabu. You don't actually need a fish, you can just jump slash right into him.
Yeah. So even though he got a fish, he didn't use it there because he wants to use it later for other stuff.
And you'd have to watch the cutscene.
Yeah, it's slower to use the fish.
So Moltov's doing Jabu right now as child, but ZFG already mentioned that he's done as child. But Jabu Jabu wasn't actually there as adult, but his loading zone is, so ZFG's going to have to do some really crazy stuff later on to actually get into Jabu Jabu and beat the dungeon.
We have a quick $15 donation from Jeff/the Hero of Time, who says, "My dad is currently battling multiple myeloma, and it's thanks to things like this that he was able to get the stem cell treatment that saved his life. Also, have Moltov say, I don't have MST world record because PB ate my babies."
I don't have MST world record because PB ate my babies.
Also, a couple hugs for Jeff right around now. You can see him on the couch.
So that death ZFG had was intentional. It's part of this glitch that he's setting up to get the Deku Stick on his B button. You just have to kill yourself. It's just Ocarina of Time.
You have to kill yourself and have a dimmed B button by swimming in water.
Yeah.
And what this does is it sets the default value of B to 0. So when I'm going to go play the horse game again, and it's just going to set my B value to 0, and 0 is the value of Deku Sticks. So I'm going to have Deku Sticks on my B button.
We have a $50 donation from K. Curl Katz, who says, "In memory of my Uncle Doug, who passed away from brain cancer. Also a tribute to the awesomeness that is Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Go ZFG, heart."
One of the really interesting things about speedrunning this game is also just the theories that are involved before tricks are actually found. Like the tricks that ZFG just did, there was a guy named Akrite, shoutouts to Akrite, who found all this crazy stuff in 2008 or something. But we didn't actually know how to skip the door of time without equipping a sword. He knew that that was a requirement, but we didn't actually find that trick for several years later. So all the stuff that ZFG's just done, it was like, in theory, we always knew it was possible, but we needed that other trick that needed to be found. And it seems like in Ocarina of Time, those kind of things do end up being found.
Almost always. There's very few things in this game you can't do at this point.
Actually, just I think it was a couple days ago.
Oh yeah,
someone found out how to get any B button on Child Link, which was previously not possible. Yeah, so there's still stuff. I don't know.
So earlier I just got Deku Nuts from that tree. I'm going to be using Deku Nuts a bit later on. I don't actually need them from that tree, but it saves a few seconds to get them now than later. Please drop Deku Nuts. It's actually random, but luckily I did get some there.
So I had to do a bunch of roundabout ways, carrying Gerudo around to get the boomerang, because the boomerang is absolutely required to beat Jabu Jabu's belly. There's no way to do it. It's one of the few things you can't do in this game. So ZFG will have to get the boomerang a different way than I do, which will come later.
Yeah, and the reason for that being is that Adult Link cannot equip the boomerang even if he has it in his pause menu. So it's trickier as Adult Link to use the boomerang, but it's still possible.
So there I had to wait until morning so that the egg would hatch into a cuckoo. So the cuckoo is normally part of a trade quest for the Goron sword. I'm not going to be getting the Goron sword, but a few items in the trade quest are going to be very useful. So I need to wake up Talon from the bed with Cuckoo, and I'm going to go talk to the Cuckoo lady over here, give her the Cuckoo, and she's going to give me Kajiro, the blue Cuckoo. You want to explain RBA at this point?
Yeah, alright, so there's this glitch, RBA we call it, Reverse Bottle Adventure, and the way it works is once you got this deku stick on your B button, you can try to duplicate a bottle over it. And so once you have a bottle on your B button, once you catch stuff in it, like that value of what you caught has to go somewhere. And the way it works is it checks what item you have on C right, and then uses that as a reference for where in your inventory to drop the value. So he's going to do it here, and I'll kind of explain as he does it. So right now, he will be, well, come on. Yeah, pause buffering. Alright, so that's called quick bottle B. You have like 1 frame to get the bugs caught. So that just gave him a bomb bag, because on C right he had Kojiro, the blue chicken. So that's linked to the bomb bag, so he has that now. Yeah, a quiver as well.
A 20 arrow quiver glitch, by the way.
And so he drops those bugs, that just gave him a 3rd bottle. So right there. And now when he caught those, it duplicated a bottle over where his bombs are supposed to be. And when the game checks to see if it can drop bombs, it uses if that slot in your inventory is empty or not. So because there's a bottle there now, when he drops, when he goes to like Dante's grave or wherever he's going, when he tries to find bombs, they will now appear. And he can hold them because he also got the bomb bag from Kojiro. So by dropping and catching those bugs, he just enabled himself to pick up bombs and other stuff.
Yeah, my bombs are now pretty much fully functional.
Yeah.
With one exception, that I can never, ever take it off my C buttons or very bad things will happen.
So right there, that bomb, that would not have fallen out of that pot unless he caught those bugs in his bottle just like a second ago. Like that would not have appeared if he didn't do that. One of the woes of many Ocarina of Time players is when they do this glitch to get bombs, they accidentally equip over the bombs, like ZFG just mentioned, and then you're pretty much screwed. You can't really get them back.
Yeah, if I happen to do that, if it happens late in the run, it won't be too bad. If it happens anytime earlier in the run, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Nice time. So Moltov's finished Jabu, and ZFG has not done any dungeons yet, but he's setting up for later with all these glitches.
Yeah, I've done everything that I need to do as a child now, so it's time for me to be an adult.
We have a $50 donation from Tepeti, who says, "Hey guys, best of luck with the Ocarina of Time race. Looking good so far. Yes, when can we see some freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land speedruns, huh?"
So I'm going to do some more RBA here. I'm going to drop my bugs with hookshot on C right. This is going to put a bottle where my ice arrows are supposed to be. And then I'm going to catch this Poe and equip that onto C right. And I catch bugs there. And that just gave me 29 bomb shoes. But I don't actually have bomb shoes yet. So when I get bomb shoes, however many I grab is going to be added to 29, and that'll be my total. It'll end up being 34 because it says there's 5. So a bit later in the run, I'll have 34 bomb shoes, which is any Ocarina of Time run is dreaming to have that many bomb shoes.
All right, what I'm doing right now is called a super slide. Basically, if you roll and grab an object and then get damaged by, or something damages your shield, you'll get propelled backwards at fast speeds. And what ZFG is doing is called a super slide teleport, where you keep the item that you super slid off of in your sight, and it will stay loaded, and when you release your shield, you will teleport back to the bush. And because he had the infinite sword glitch, he was able to stay in the air and get on top of the scene.
What's interesting is if you have the Goron bracelet or any other strength upgrade, that trick doesn't work anymore because Link can actually pick up the bush. So it's one of its requirements is that you do not have that item.
Yeah, and interesting thing about that trick, in 100% runs, because you use that trick a few times 100%, the last item you ever get is a strength upgrade. And you pretty much never use it in the entire run, so it's kind of interesting how it's more beneficial to not have it than to have it.
We have a quick $200 donation from Special K, who says, "Good luck, Moltov. Remember, no matter how far behind you get, you can always make it up in Forest Temple."
So now I'm fighting Dead Hand. By waiting before Dead Hand goes underground, right before he goes underground, you can attack him and keep him up above ground. And by doing the right attacks, you can kill him really fast in one cycle like that. And this gives me the hover boots. So I'm just saving and resetting there to exit Shadow Temple faster.
He'll be coming back and beating Shadow later using another really cool glitch, but the hover boots are definitely worth it to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Hover boots are probably in like the top 3 or 4 best items in the game for glitching and sequence breaking.
We have an anonymous $100 donation that reads, "This race is epic, and I don't know who's winning. Go, Moltov. Happy birthday, ZFG."
How old are you, ZFG?
Today I turned 12.
We have another anonymous $50 donation that reads, "Love that you guys are taking different routes for OOT. Thanks for all the runners for the entertainment and those behind the scenes for putting this fundraiser together. Save the animals."
So right now I'm just heading up Death Mountain to go to Goron City and grab the Goron tunic. And from there I'll grab a few things in Death Mountain Crater, and then I'm going to head off to Dodongo's Cavern, which is going to be my first dungeon.
Just a quick reminder to everybody watching, if you'd like to win some pretty cool Zelda prizes like the Zelda Majora's Mask you see on stream right now, a Majora's Mask papercraft that looks similar, and a couple of cool posters pertaining to the Zelda series, send in your donations now. It's a minimum $30 buy-in for the mask and $5 to $10 for just about everything else. And we have a $50 donation from Robsta109. This will be my third and possibly final donation. I really appreciate what all of you are doing. Doing things you love for a great cause. It can't get any better than that. I wish you all the best and hope that everyone with cancer or who has a loved one with cancer will find the strength to get through the hard times and remember the good times. We have a $150 donation from Douglas Heller. This donation is in memory of my mother, Jane, who lost her 6-year battle to cancer this November. As this marathon is in the spirit of saving lives, it only seems appropriate to save the animals.
So the reason I was taking damage there is there's a cutscene right over here where the bolero, where Sheik appears to give you the bolero of fire, and I don't want to talk to Sheik. I'd rather kill myself. So I'm just gonna do this. And by dying as soon as you enter the cutscene trigger, you get the song, but you don't have to watch the cutscene.
That's a reoccurring.
Game over. Step your game up.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring thing in this game. Dying to skip cutscenes is very used on almost every single cutscene.
Yeah, we're not that bad. I almost. Anytime I see a bomb drop, I will go for it. They are the most important thing ever.
They're practically gold.
He got the 40 bomb bag from the arcade, so he stock up when he throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the first bomb bag you get only holds 20 bombs, but as you can see, he's carrying 29 already.
So now I'm just going to head off to Dodongo's Cavern, climb down the mountain.
We have a $50 donation from Plop Remix. Greetings from Finland. You guys are awesome, and I simply just love what you are doing. I would wish you guys good luck, but I know you don't need it. Hugs to ZFG. You are an adorable 12-year-old.
I like the hook shot there, that was cool.
So after this cutscene is over, I'm going to save and reset. It's going to seem like it does nothing, but if I don't do this, a glitch I do later on will crash my game.
Yeah, what he just did is he replaced his previous cutscene watched from being the entrance to Dodongo's Cavern to being the title screen cutscene. And that's still in memory right now.
So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to get Infinite Sword Glitch off of Navi like that, and then I'm going to use my bombs to do bomb hovering. This was also in Majora's Mask if you saw it earlier, but I can place bombs and backflip and shield into them with Infinite Sword Glitch active, and this will allow me to gain height. And I can get to high places like this. And normally, you're not supposed to have bombs at this point, but I can do this to skip basically all of Dodongo's Cavern.
The bomb hovering works a little bit differently than in Majora's Mask that you just saw, because in this game the bombs start at a point and then expand, while in Majora's Mask they are immediately at a huge hitbox, which means it's a lot harder. You have to do some more restrictive things to actually gain height, not fall down.
Yeah, for example, I have the hover boots on right now. That's to actually shorten my backflip, so that my backflip will actually not take me too far away from the bomb explosion, and that my shield actually gets hit. If you have the normal security boots, you have to do a very, oh my god, you have to do a very precise backflip to actually make it hit. And you will gain very little height, mostly distance.
That fish is flapping.
So the reason I got this, caught this fish is I'm going to do a glitch called Ocarina Items. By backflipping and pressing the fish button while it's in Link's hand and then another item, Link plays that item as a fake ocarina, and then I do that while I land on the blue switch that opens the door. You're only supposed to hold that switch down with a block, but by doing ocarina items on the switch, you can you activate ocarina at the same time the cutscene of at the same time as the cutscene of opening the door is happening. So if two cutscenes are happening at once, then you disable ocarina, which allows you to gain control and run to the door before it closes in the cutscene.
We should probably explain Longwood now.
Actually, first I want to explain that I throw the bombs off the wall to be cool. I also need to switch my tunics because I need to take damage.
So he took damage because he's going to be skipping the post-dungeon cutscene. He's going to do Ocarina items again and land on the very edge of the blue warp. And that'll let him keep control of Link even as the blue warp's trying to take him up. And there'll be a kind of a complex setup here to time it perfectly so that he dies at exactly the right frame. And the results are pretty good if he does it right. And this is also why he had to save earlier and reset to get the right cutscene in memory. So he's doing the movement right now. He also needs the fish. This is pretty complicated.
So when I die here, the game is going to try to load me at the beginning of Dodongo's Cavern, but at the same time take me to the cutscene of getting the Goron Ruby. And so the game is going to add a certain value to Dodongo's Cavern to try to take me to the Goron Ruby cutscene. But the way it adds the values, it ends up making me go to Gerudo Training Grounds. So in Gerudo Training Grounds, I'm going to do a glitch called the Weird Shot. I'm going to roll into this bomb and hold down and then hold the hookshot button. And this is going to allow me to glitch underground and shoot the hookshot from underground. And I can shoot over here and grab this chest, which has glorious bomb shoes. And I have 34 of them now because of RBAing them earlier. And you can also use Weird Shot there to grab the ice arrows and skip everything in Gerudo Training Grounds, which is pretty neat in 100% runs.
So as you can notice, these routes are pretty interesting, with Moltov heading to the bottom of the well, even though it doesn't really count as a dungeon, and ZFG heading to Gerudo Training Grounds as well. Just the way the route works out means you go to all sorts of places to do things in a kind of a weird order.
Yeah, because I don't actually have bombs. I have to get them legitimately, while ZFG RBA'd them. So I actually have to do part of Dodongo's Cavern to get bombs, because they're essential to doing all the tricks I need to do.
Yeah, you can see the bomb icon applies for Moltov as well. He just really can't take advantage of it in the same way that ZFG could, so he'll need to go and get a real bomb bag chest.
So normally to get to the Haunted Wasteland, you need to get the Gerudo card by saving the Carpenters, but you can just get on that hill over there and skip the gate. And normally to get through the Haunted Wasteland, you need the Lens of Truth, and you need to follow Poe Guide. But as long as you know where you're going, you can pretty easily get through the Wasteland without the Poe or any other. Yeah, just without the Poe to guide you. And it's actually, it may sound really difficult to do that without the Poe, but it's surprisingly easy because the area you can walk in the Haunted Wasteland is much larger than it may originally seem.
We have a $30 donation from Midas22, who says, "Hey guys, never really watched speedrunning before, so I can say with confidence that I've been missing out. Got anything special in the works if you hit 600K during the Ocarina of Time run? I don't know if anyone had anything planned, but we are currently over $601,000. I mean, go for it, man. It's ZFG.
Huh? Wait, what? I didn't hear it. What?
Right now, ZFG is attempting to get the mirror shield from outside of the dungeon by doing a lot of hovers going upwards. This skips a good 2 minutes of the dungeon.
2 minutes?
It's actually required in this category because you don't have Zelda's Lullaby.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And you gotta watch out for the Gwei, who will always ruin your speed run.
He's coming.
He's not! He did this 3 times today. Juking me out.
I'll have to be doing that trick as well later, but when I do it, it's going to be a lot more difficult because I don't have near as many explosives as ZFG does.
We have another $30 donation from Buns, who asks, "Yo, can I make several donations for more chances to win prizes? If so, is there a limit to how many? Particularly the MM bundle, Painted Mask, and NES PC." Honestly, you can. The buy-in for all the grand prizes, including the MM bundle and the NES PC, is a $50 buy-in, and you can enter up to $150 for 3 entries.
So I really want to get some bombs from these armos. So coming up here, I'm going to do an actor glitch, just like Moltov did in Bottom of the Well. I'm going to hit this switch to my left with a bomb, and leave the room at the same time. And this is going to unload a few things in this room, mainly the big mirror platform that's supposed to lower by shining light on a sun. And by doing this, I can do a mega side hop to get onto the statue's shoulder. And from here, I can hook shot into the head. And now I'm in front of the boss door, but I don't have the boss key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover to the top of the door, and then jump slashing.
There's actually a couple like walls in this game where if you jump slash into them with enough height, you can actually go through them.
I just realized my health is too low to do a certain trick. Dang.
So I'm just doing the trick that ZFG did earlier where I do ocarina items, which I use the fish to like basically glitch the switch and hold it down so I can get into the room without having to push the block.
So for Iron Knuckles, a lot of people consider them like, oh, they're the hardest enemy in the game because they do so much damage, but they are extremely easy to kill. You just get right in front of them and they can't hit you. And be sure to watch Moltov when he gets to that part because I couldn't do a certain trick because of my health being low, but it's a really cool trick.
So I'm just doing the wrong work that ZFG did earlier.
One of the features of this game that makes really precise tricks possible is that a lot of Link's movements, like a backflip and a side hop, always go the exactly the same amount of distance, and like certain things change your angle by a precise amount, so it's always exactly the same.
Yeah, and I'd say that's been kind of like a couple years ago, people would just go into C up and kind of line things up. But now we know, if they side up and then roll, it changes length exactly this many degrees, and you can kind of make setups based on that instead. So you can execute them very quickly without having to like slowly try to line stuff up. And then, that's been a trend in this game.
And then when you combine that with pause buffering, you can make basically any trick not very difficult. There's still some, it's not like this game is has no difficult tricks at all, but some tricks that would otherwise be near impossible can be done fairly easily. There's one trick I do a bit later in this run that very clearly demonstrates that.
So it may seem like ZFG is leading by quite a bit, but you have to remember he has not yet completed Jabu's belly, and Moltov has. So, much closer than it looks.
And I actually have to do a lot more setup to actually beat Jabu, and I messed this up.
We have a $100 donation from Slash Daddy. Hey guys, Slash here. I want to start off by saying that I really have enjoyed the stream and wish it could keep going on. Also, thanks to all of the streamers / donators for pitching in to help with this awesome event. My mother's father died of cancer 20 years ago, and my uncle has brain cancer now. We are trying to stay positive, and the stream has helped me through the rough times. I wish that I Ate Your Pie could be here to stream, but he couldn't make it. Thanks again, and good luck to all the streamers.
So yeah, I just did what's called an extended super slide, where I held very slightly to the right so that Link is in the turning animation, and I held Z target, and during this animation, Link's speed is retained. So I could just slide all the way through the wasteland faster than you can run normally.
So ZFG is doing another precise setup. Very similar to the Dodongo's Cavern thing, except this one won't warp him anywhere strange. It'll just put him back in the dungeon. However, it will skip the cutscene if you can manage to do it.
Whee! Looks good.
So if he continues and there's a white flash, yeah, that means he got it. So that actually counts as completing the dungeon. It gave him the medallion for doing so.
And I'm going to be doing that for every dungeon except Jabu. Jabu, it can't be done with Jabu because Gerudo is in the blue warp and she wants to talk to you, and there's no way to avoid talking to her because she just wants to keep talking.
Moltov's doing Spirit Hover now, and as he said, his version is a lot more difficult than ZFG because he has far fewer bombs to work with.
So what I'm doing right here is I'm pulling out Gerudo as soon as I get hit by a bomb. This is damage buffering. When you get hit by something in this game, you are invincible for a short amount of time, just to make sure you don't get comboed to death really fast. But in certain cases, I actually want to take a lot of damage really fast. So what you can do is take out an item that creates a small cutscene, something like Kajiro or Ocarina. And that runs out the invincibility frames, so I can repeatedly take it off and on, and take a lot of damage from a single bomb. The bomb explosion lasts for, I believe, 9 or 10 frames, so I can take 9 or 10 hits of damage total from one bomb. And the reason I'm taking so much damage is I'm going to do a cutscene skip over here.
ZFG just did something very similar to the Valera cutscene skip where he died at the end of the cutscene, and now he's Minuet.
So if you remember back to the beginning of the run, in Moltov's route, he went to the Deku Tree fairly early on, and he went in there to get rid of a cutscene. So now I need to get rid of that cutscene, but I need to do it as an adult. So what I'm going to do is get on this fence. Come on. And line up a super slide. Alright. So this gets me on the upper ledge of Kukiri Forest. And by getting on the upper ledge, I can bypass the loading zone that separates the two parts of Kukiri Forest. There's normally the Deku Tree section and the main area section with all the houses. And there's a loading zone in the tunnel between. So by bypassing that loading zone, the Deku Tree does not load, but the loading zone is still there. So I can hit the loading zone and get into Deku Tree. And from here, I'm going to go to Forest Temple, but first I want to take a bit of damage.
Alright, so the trick that ZFG mentioned earlier, I'm about to do. It's called the Naboo Knuckle cutscene skip. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lead the Knuckle over to the wall after I've done a certain amount of damage to it. And I'm going to drop a bomb and then clip out of bounds. What this will do is it'll kill it, and as I'm falling out of bounds, I'll void out and skip the cutscene.
So for all of our generous donators, we have a new donation incentive for everyone. If we reach $800,000 by the end of the marathon on stream, Bonesaw will come in and lead everybody in the room in the Tae-Earn dance. And trust me, it's going to be pretty hype watching several hundred people do that in a very crammed room. So get those donations in fast, guys.
That was a really close call. I almost died.
I saw that.
All right, I got it.
So he killed Nibiru with the bomb and then voided out during the cutscene after clipping out of bounds with the hook shot.
So I'm doing a boss key skip right now. I clipped through that ledge on that banister right there. I jumped out of bounds and just jumped straight into the boss loading zone. Because the boss loading zone is always, it's always there no matter where you are in the dungeon. So if you can just clip out of bounds and get into that loading zone, you'll get there.
You won't see a whole lot of boss keys in this run, sorry.
You won't see any boss keys in this run.
Boss keys are for scrubs. So I don't have the bow here, but the hookshot works just as well on Phantom Ganon, so I'll have no problem with this fight. Or I should have no problem.
Something weird about the Phantom Ganon fight is if you manage to get here with a boomerang, the boomerang like stuns them and does damage, and it's like really sick.
Yeah, the boomerang is actually extremely powerful against this guy, which is weird because you can't normally use it. Also, a lot of people wonder how you're supposed to tell the real one. The real Phantom Ganon is a bit brighter than the fake one.
He's also the only one that makes any noise flopping down the painting.
So what I did there is I got the infinite sword glitch so that I could hit Phantom Ganon without actually swinging my sword. And then I started using the hookshot, and when you use the hookshot or bow towards Phantom Ganon, he spins his staff to kind of block it, but during his staff spin, he's actually vulnerable. So I made him spin his staff with the hookshot, which then allowed my infinite sword to hit him, to keep him down, and repeatedly attack him until he's dead. And upcoming here is another cutscene skip. Watch out for your health, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
So this is going to allow me to get the Force Medallion, but skip the cutscene, just like in Spirit Temple. But Moltov's rushing me now, actually.
Yeah.
Yulfi just donated $25 asking, is ZFG bad at this game? He keeps dying.
This is my first playthrough, so...
We have another $25 donation from Hophosaurus X. Hello again from merry old England, 3 a.m. here and just woken up. Had a pretty weird schedule the past couple of days, but very worth it. As I've mentioned in previous donations, cancer has affected me a lot in my life, but video games have helped me through hard times. It's great to see video games used to potentially end hard times like this, though, forever. Shoutouts to Runner Guy and Cosmo. Enjoy winning cutest couple.
So I'm going to head off to Water Temple right now, and the fastest way to get there is through Zora's River and then Zora's Domain. And what I'm going to do to get to Zora's River is clip through this block here.
So if you're watching Moltov, the reason that he kind of rises a bit before he falls back down is that the warp is loaded behind him and it's carrying him upwards, and then it unloads when the camera changes, and then he falls back down. And that's going to be really important for the A trick later on.
So Zora's Domain is usually frozen as adult, and you can't take the warp to Lake Hylia. But if you get out of bounds, you can get in the out of bounds water. And get under the ice and take the warp to Lake Hylia.
We have a $150 donation from Another Bean. Awesome runs, guys. I have lost too much sleep this week watching the stream. Moltov, you'd better not lose to that 12-year-old. Keep up the great work, everyone.
I'll try my best.
At least I got him out of the way early. So to enter Water Temple, you normally need iron boots. I'm just going to clip out of bounds. Like this. Alright. So, if you remember back to when we both went to Shadow Temple, we did a super slide teleport off the piece of grass and used it to get up to the ledge. That was basically the same trick, but instead of going up a slope, I went down, and that allowed me to clip through the ground and get to the entrance of Water Temple. So since I've been dying so much, I'm gonna grab this fairy. Maybe this will help me out. That fairy, by the way, is actually caught in a duped bottle. It's actually, when you have a fairy in a bottle that's not a standard bottle button or a standard bottle slot in your inventory, the fairy will not actually revive you. So this fairy I got is not going to revive me when I die next. It's actually going to be used for more RBA glitches later on. That's Water Temple, by the way. Yeah, you kids that complain about Water Temple being the hardest dungeon, what are you doing?
So I'm actually going to the Water Temple right now because it's faster for me to do the Forest Temple later, as opposed to ZFG, who needs to complete the Forest Temple right when he was there.
So a bit of good news for everyone. We have met the GoldenEye multiplayer donation incentive. So after that run, be hyped for some multiplayer. And as a little more fun for you guys, another donation incentive coming up. For $15,000, Yoshi Fan will do the perfect run, the fabled 242nd star of Super Mario Galaxy 2 right after his run. And trust me, that is awesome. You haven't seen hype until you've seen that.
The way Moltov set that trick up was quite a bit different than the way CFG did, which just goes to show that in some cases just as much replaced with the same trick in this game.
Often methods will be found and then like slightly improved over and over and over again until they become like really optimal. And sometimes it's preference.
Alright, should be good. So now that I've beaten the water temple, this is where I'm going to do stuff very, very different from Moltov. Even more different than what's already happened. I'm going to go to the fishing pond, and I'm going to steal the fishing rod. Oh, by the way, the trigger for the water raising in Lake Halia is actually in the water medallion cutscene. So if you skip the cutscene like I just did and Moltov's about to do, the water will never raise. So the lake is going to be permanently empty.
So if you saw what I did there, I was doing the boss key skip that ZFG did, but I actually messed up a bomb hover, so I was too far away from the door to clip through it. So I actually had to do a trick called a forward side hop, and I used like a sideways roll to side hop forwards and then get closer to the door and jump slash into it.
So by diving and then mashing the fishing pole in really shallow water, it allows me to cast the pole as I'm jumping up, and that allows me to move while I'm casting the fishing pole, and then from there I can actually walk out of the fishing pond. And I use this to get another bottle on D so I can do some more RBA stuff. By dumping that fish with fish on C right, that gave me 20 Decunuts, which I lowered to 17 for something later on. By catching that fish with Poe on C right, that gave me 25 bomb shoes. And then I'm going to dump this fish on C right, or dump this fish with Fairy on C right, and that'll give me 20 Deku sticks. And now I'm going to save.
We have a $50 donation from the Josh. This is my third time watching AGDQ, and the OOT runs just get crazier and crazier every year. Here's such an innovative community and helping fund research for innovation against cancer.
So I need to do Door of Time skip now, but I'm an adult, and it's a little bit different as adult because Adult Link is too big to do the same thing Child did. So I stab the door with my Deku stick, and then I equip hover boots, and that gives me a high speed, which I can use to clip through the door. And then I went out of bounds, and I triggered the Prelude of Light cutscene. And by triggering the Prelude of Light cutscene out of bounds, I fell out of bounds, avoided out in the middle of the cutscene, and that allowed me to completely skip the cutscene. Now I need to do it one more time because I actually do need to go back in time now. There's a few things I need to do as Child. Yeah. So I need to get rid of my Deku stick so I can actually turn my B button into a bottle again. And broken Deku sticks as adult look like broken Master Swords. Actually, I think it's specifically broken Giant's knives.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I actually have to go back and go back to Kakariko Village and turn this chicken in for a blue chicken because I need to advance the trade quest to get to the mushroom, which is used for the timer. You need the timer to do a very special wrong work that I'm going to do soon.
And so the reason I went back in time is I need to equip fish on C right. And what this does is when you have a bottle on B as adult and you go back in time and then forward in time, the game checks the item you have on C right as child, and it puts the value of that item onto your B button. And I have fish on C right, and fish points to my Dekunut count, and my Dekunut count was 17, so put the value of 17 on my B button, and hammer, Megaton hammer is 17. So I now have the Megaton hammer on my B button.
the Megaton Hammer, you usually have to climb the entire Fire Temple because it's at the very top. And obviously, because you have to go upwards, there's no out-of-bounds glitches that really like help you climb up fast. I guess there's like one trick you can do to get through the wall, but for the most part, you have to go through the entirety of the dungeon to get to the top. And now ZFG just has the hammer without ever going there.
Yeah, all I have to do is grab the boss key and I can go straight to the boss.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't even have to grab the boss key, but it's actually faster to do it.
Yeah,
Okay, so there is one boss key that is in this run.
Also, the trick ZFG did is called Bottle Adventure. It does work, reverse Bottle Adventure and Ball Adventure. The Bottle Adventure takes a value and puts an item on the B button. Reverse Bottle Adventure looks at the B button value that's updated and puts that value into the inventory.
By the way, shout out to the name Bottle Adventure. It makes total sense and completely explains the trick. So after getting the boss key, I don't actually have a way out of this room. My options are save warping, which gets rid of the hammer on B, dying, which gets rid of the hammer on B, or playing the Blare of Fire, which
With
works
his hook
better.
shot.
Yeah, with my hook shot. Because I don't actually have an ocarina, so I have to use fake ocarinas all the time with ocarina items.
Yeah, it actually saves a lot of time to grab the ocarina if it's convenient, because doing ocarina items over and over again costs a lot of time.
Yeah, each time I think it's about 10 seconds, so I'm losing 10 seconds every time I have to do ocarina items. Moon Rev 2.
As Cosmo mentioned earlier, you have to go through all the fire dungeon to get the hammer, so I'll be doing that later. Meanwhile, ZFG will just be going just straight to kill the boss. That's one of the benefits of the RBA route.
So what I'm going to do for Wawaji here is, for the boss, there's actually 2 hitboxes for it. There's one for the Wawaji that flies around, and one for the one that pops out of the holes. And the hitbox for the one that pops out of the, the hitbox for the one that goes flying stays in under the hole that it last flew into while it's in the pop-up phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam bomb shoes. And I don't think it's going to hit me, but... And I'm also equipping the Kukuri tunic here because after this I'm going to kill myself. Because I'm not going to finish the Fire Temple quite yet. I need to kill Wawaji right now because I can't kill Wawaji later on when I actually do the wrong warp. So I'm just going to leave here.
You need the hammer to kill the badge, or another one of those fire things in this game.
If you know some ZFG was fighting Volvagia, he did this cool trick where he actually threw Deku Nuts at the bomb shoes. That actually makes them explode, so it's actually the fastest way to create those explosions there to deal damage. You can also slash your bomb shoes with your sword if you're quick enough.
So I'm just skipping another cutscene by dying, because I like to die.
We have a $50 donation from Saren. Awesome MM run, ZFG. Wish the best of luck to both runners in the OOT race. Thanks for showing how broken my childhood games are.
So I'm going to do Ball Adventure again, and this time I'm going to use my bomb shoe count and a Poe on Sea Rider's Child. My bomb shoe count is currently 14, and the value of 14 is boomerang. So I'm going to be getting my boomerang on these.
We have an anonymous $200 donation. It's my first marathon. Love what you guys are doing. Keep that spirit up and we will win against anything. Another $200 donation from Saturn User. Donated last year and simply had to donate again. All the speedruns have been very entertaining and have been a great way to cap my nights. Shoutouts to all the speedrunners and everyone behind the scenes making the noble act stay alive all week long. Awesome games done quick by even more awesome people. Thank you all. Kill cancer, but save the animals.
So now that I actually have the boomerang, I can go beat Jabu as a doll.
If you notice Moltov's screen, he's got a timer ticking down. That's from the mushroom. When that timer hits 0, magic will happen.
And it's also important to note, a lot of time that it seems like he might be wasting right now is not actually time wasted, because he's going to have to wait for the timer to hit 0 anyway. So there's actually some time to kill here.
So what I'm doing right here is I'm running on the top of the scene, and I just jumped past the loading zone. So now the Deku tree is unloaded, and I can just walk into his face. Originally, you cannot enter the Deku tree as an adult. So I'm walking out of bounds right now, and I'm inside the Deku tree.
ZFG's about to try to get Jabu, and as I said earlier, the loading zone is there, but it's almost completely obscured by a rock. And it took us a really, really long time to actually find a way to get in, and what we came up with is perhaps the most complex setup ever in OT.
And this game has some very, very complex stuff.
Shoutouts to Sockfolder who came up with this setup.
So King Zora is still blocking the path to Zora's Fountain, so I need to clip past him, so I'm going to super slide out of bounds here, and come past him.
I haven't actually seen that one, that was nice.
And so here is getting into Jabu. So the loading zone to Jabu is under that ice right there. So what I need to do is I need to clip into the ice with Mega Flip. And I need to do the Mega Flip while over the water. And there's nothing above the water there, so I'm going to do some really crazy stuff to try to get there. This is extremely precise. I released the bomb chew 1 frame too late. And I messed everything up.
Meanwhile, magic is about to happen on Moltov's side.
In 40 seconds, it will.
ZFG, can you get into the Jabu before 30 seconds?
No.
So this is the hardest part of this speedrun right here.
I want to see both loadings on the exactly the same time.
I practiced for at least 3 weeks on this one trick. Okay, I'd like everyone to repeat after me when this timer hits 0. Everybody say, "Hi, Bongo."
Hi, Bongo. All right, I'm gonna go. So because I already have the boomerang, I can skip pretty much all of Jabu. I don't even have to meet Gerudo at all. She's still going to talk to me though.
So ZFG does have the boomerang to kill Baronade, but no sword to actually deal damage. So I'll let everyone guess what the only way to actually damage the boss is.
Oh boy.
The suspense. We have a $30 donation from Mad Monkey Mud. I just had to donate after seeing those sweet gainers Moltov did during Phantom Ganon, but no one paid attention to.
So I'm just killing myself again to skip this cutscene using the lava next to Bongo. And now I only have one more dungeon left.
So as Yukon mentioned earlier, I have nothing I can attack Baronade with. I have Deku Nuts to kill the Furies, but the only way I can actually damage Baronade is with pods. The last two I can actually use my sword. That was actually a really good fight. Usually that fight is pretty difficult when you're using pods and not your sword, so that was pretty good. And I'll grab this container because it doesn't cost any time to grab, so just a little bit of safety.
Here's something I haven't seen in a while, the cutscenes.
The one dungeon cutscene you can't skip because Gerudo won't shut up. And this cutscene's actually a bit weird, so.
We have a $50 donation from Keyfree. Everybody wish our buddy Rom Scout a happy birthday.
And here I get nothing.
We actually have a $500 donation from Rom Scout. This is the extra money raised from the Chicago-thon. Thanks to everyone who helped Chicago area runners attend this amazing event, and let's see Dragon Dark run that low percent. Let's keep kicking cancer's butt.
Oh my god, that's so perfect. I didn't know that would still work from a backwards side hop jump slash. So Moltov only has one dungeon left, the Fire Temple, but I still need to do Deku Tree, Shadow Temple, and sort of Fire Temple because I have the boss beaten, but still haven't actually completed it.
Yeah, the race is actually really close right now, if you can't tell.
So I'm doing a precise bomb clip. I'm going to clip between that box there using a bomb and basically skip half a Fire Temple.
We have a $200 donation from Tarks. Another great year for speedruns. Always love seeing the Zelda 64 games being destroyed. Shoutouts to Swordless Link. Have fun for the remainder, everybody.
So what I just did right there is I used my roll to get through one of the firewalls. The way rolls work in this game is at the end of your roll, you're actually invulnerable for a short time. So you can actually roll through things that give damage to you, such as a firewall, and I skipped a portion of the temple doing that.
We have a $50 donation from Patrick Flaherty. This is such a great cause. I lost my grandfather to cancer and just had to donate to hopefully improve someone else's life. Keep up the good work, guys. I would just like to take a moment to point out that we are raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, and while I may not be able to get to every donation comment, they are all being processed. They are all going toward their respective donation incentives, and as long as you are meeting the thresholds in the proper time period, you are being automatically entered for any prizes. So please keep your donations coming, even if you don't quite hear them on stream.
So that web there in the Deku tree is, it has a lot of problems loading. If the first time you go down to the basement, you I think it's like a certain camera angle if you go down and you get up to the ledge on the first time you enter that room. The web just doesn't load properly and you can go straight through it. And it only works on the first time you load the room, which is, it's one of the few things that, one of the many things, excuse me, that we still don't understand about this game.
So Cosmo mentioned that there wasn't really a good way to get up to the hammer, but now that Moltov had to go up and get the hammer, there is a good way to get back down.
And I hit the boss room.
So now I'm doing the wrong warp Moltov did earlier, where I used the timer to wrong warp the bongo.
Moltov doesn't have the 2 amounts that ZFG had, so he's using bombs in a similar way to damage Volvagic here.
We have a $101 donation from B Dubs. What you guys do is truly amazing. Keep up the great work for great causes. Can't wait for SGDQ. And for goodness sake, save the animals.
I actually messed up the setup there, so I'm going to do it back up.
So yeah, Moltov has beat all the dungeons now, but there is still has to get to Ganon's castle and beat Ganon. And there's a very convenient and cool way to do that from this boss room.
This is like the grand finale of all the wrong warps and cutscene skips.
We have a $30 donation from Draknar.
I hope this is right.
My dog died to cancer a few years back, so here's to eradicating cancer. On a related note, let's save the animals. Good luck to all the Zelda runners.
My controller's giving me some issues right now. So I'm going to do a trick called fish drinking, where I drink a fish.
It's okay, ZFG was free shooting earlier with the sticks.
Oh yeah, I guess we never mentioned that. If you use Deku Sticks as adult on N64, your game will crash. Do not do it. Only do it if you're on GameCube or VC. So now I'm going to head off to Fire Temple and do what Moltov's doing right now. And at that point, our routes will be pretty much completely converged. Almost played the wrong song.
This is now a tied race.
I would just like to point out that this race is almost at a close, so now would be some of your last chances to get in donations for any prizes for the Zelda block, among which were the posters we were describing earlier, the Majora's Mask, and everything else related to the block. It's a $30 buy-in for the mask.
Here we go.
And 10 for everything else.
Who gets the good luck on the rocks?
What's happening there is that he's doing kind of a similar trick where he needs to get into the loading zone of the Fire Temple door at the same time that the warp takes him away. But the door is actually really high above the ground, so he uses the warp to carry him up and we call it the 1080 spin.
It's actually really, really crazy the way it works. Like, as I said earlier, the warp, it brings you upwards. And behind the door where you enter the room, there's a loading zone that takes you back into the Fire Temple. It's not actually used in the game, as you can't open the door, but it's there. And there is a cute angle where you can jump slash through and get out of bounds. So what they do is this super specific setup to get out of bounds, and they jump into the out of bounds as the blue warp takes them up, and then they touch the loading zone at exactly the right frame. And that triggers a wrong warp using the loading zone back into the Fire Temple, and as it tries to play the cutscene, when it takes Link there, it ends up taking Link into Ganon's tower at the end of the game. So it's really complicated. ZFG is doing a trick called the Void Warp. He's touching a loading zone on the same frame the game voids him out, and it puts him at the wrong coordinates. And now he can just go all the way down. And as he said earlier, loading zones are always active. So now that ZFG is here, he can just walk over to one of the last loading zones for the Ganon's tower collapse. That's also why he died earlier, so he could go back up and do this. It's actually faster than just going down.
We have a $50 donation from Next Level Green. Congrats on a great event, guys. It's entertaining to see childhood nightmares like the water temple so easily avoided.
So this next trick I'm going to do, I'm going to super slide into the cutscene of the Ganon battle starting. And what this does is when Ganon goes to knock my sword away, the actual trigger to have the sword knocked away is tied to Link's animation of actually getting the sword knocked out. And by doing this, Link's animation can't change. So I'm actually going to be able to keep the sword for the first part of the fight. And an interesting thing about how Ganon's health works in this first part of the fight is every weapon does 1 damage to him, except for Master Sword and Deku Stick. Because Master Sword and Deku Stick are the 2 items that you're supposed to not be able to use on the first phase of Ganon. Master Sword because it's obviously knocked away, Deku Stick because you're not supposed to use Deku Stick as a all, period. So those weapons are not nerfed, so I can actually do a ton of damage to Ganon really fast. It's only supposed to take 10 hits for the first phase. I'm going to do it in 3. I still need to get the regular Master Sword back, though. Alright, time is coming up. Oh, you know what? Alright. Wait, how many bombs do I have?
6. Wait, bomb chest?
Ah, that's a lot. Nah.
And arrows.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. I gotta get the mirrors back.
Oh, it's a lot.
Oh man. I'll see if Zelda can blow my bomb too. She can't. Wow. Wait. Wow. Ganon? No, dude. I gotta wait for the. Alright, I can do this. Don't kill myself. Alright, there we go. Time.
We have a $50 donation from Murphy Burzish. Had to donate before the end of OOT. AGDQ is the hypest thing I've ever seen. Good luck for the rest of the marathon and keep shattering those goals. We have an anonymous $50 donation. My uncle suffered from cancer a couple of decades ago. He survived happily, but has suffered with lasting health effects since. Here's to hoping that the more cancer research, the less this happens, and eventually the disease is beaten.
Resolution, you can sort them by amount or time.
something?
No, it's just English.
It'll take a while to load.
Yeah.
It's right here.
It's just for the glitch demonstration. It makes more sense.
So I don't have to super slide into the cutscene like ZFG had to do because I have a Megaton Hammer. So I can use that to damage him instead of having to shield Ganon's attack.
And he did a Master Sword jump slash into the cutscene, which stored both the damage of the Master Sword and just the fact that a Master Sword did it, so it will do full damage when the hammer doesn't power crouch dead.
You can do the reverse of that if you swing the hammer and then crouch stab with the sword. You can break boulders with the sword, which is kind of interesting.
It's even more interesting if you use ISG and you just like walk into boxes and boulders and it just automatically breaks.
Alright, get ready for time.
Weird bugs.
Use the bombs.
The what?
Drop your bombs.
Drop my bombs?
Yeah, you gotta get the mirrored bugs.
Alright. No. Alright, time.
We love you, Moltov.
Good race.
So the glitch demonstration was met, right?
Yes, it was.
All right. So some very, very interesting stuff is going to happen here. So I switched to the English version real quick. Just this glitch makes more sense on the English version. It actually works on both, but this makes more sense here. So if you look at my B button right now, I have 20 arrows. As I mentioned earlier when I was doing the RBA stuff, when I RBA'd Kujiro, it gave me a glitched quiver, which was 20 arrows. And if I go over here right now, my quiver slot says bomb bag holds 30. So that's my quiver right now. So 20 arrows is below the normal minimum. So I really want to upgrade my quiver. That's too few arrows. So I'm going to play this archery game. If you get 1,500 points, she will give you a quiver, and hopefully I don't fail this.
Just blame VC if you can't do it.
Wow, this is nasty.
All right.
All right.
So,
upgrade that 20 quiver.
So she says, okay, congrats, I'll give you a quiver. She doesn't give me anything though. But my A button says open right now, so I'm gonna press A. And I'm gonna start opening an invisible chest behind her. And what pops out is the spooky mask. But my A button still says open, so I can open it again. And what pops out this time is another spooky mask. And I can keep doing it like this and open in the air. So, she's not going to give me a quiver, so I'm going to go try and get another quiver. So there's an archery guy in Kakariko. He gives you a quiver too if you play his game and win. So hopefully he's a bit nicer.
Now, what you get from that chest is actually version specific?
Oh yeah, so depending on the version you're playing on, you can get different things from that chest. On 1.1 and the GameCube versions, you get fire arrows, and on Master Quest, you get bombs. We have no idea why any of that happens. Alright, so I'm going to play this guy's archery game. And I'm going to win this, and hopefully he gives me a nice quiver.
Just blame VC.
Alright, so I won. He says, alright, here's the prize, but he didn't give me anything. But this time the A button says grab. So he's not giving me anything. I'm really mad. I'm just going to pick him up off and run around with him. Drop him right here, and he's just going to stare at you. And he has no legs. We'll give him legs. So that's it for OSB and the glitch demonstration.
Good race.
Good race. Sorry about 1080 frames. So.
Oh well.